Uh, I think we're live. We live, everyone? Yes, we are. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream, and that is right. We are live on this beautiful November 24th, 2023. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal day, night, afternoon, midnight, wherever you are in the world. I'm certainly having a great day myself. And today we are doing a updated 2024 presidential election discussion. And yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on. There's been some news coming out of Israel, and yeah, a lot of stuff is going down. But first, before we continue with today's stream, I hope you enjoy these type of streams. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. And like usual, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever that you want for sure answered, the best way to get them answered is via Super Chat, via, well, the chat. I can all try to read through the chat, but if you have some questions or just want to support the content, Super Chat's another great way to support it. Alright, everybody. So, we are going to talk a lot about 2024 and the current state of affairs with this presidential election. Maybe talk with the Senate a little bit. We got some big news out of that. But should we start the primary and work our way to the general? Let's see. The sanctimonious paid for the endorsement, lol. Yeah, well, let's start with the Iowa stuff, because this is freaking hilarious and pretty sad. So, Ron DeSantis just got the endorsement from Bob Vander Plaats, the quote-unquote gold standard of endorsements for Iowa. Let's be clear about something. This bozo has been backing DeSantis from day one. Like, everybody knows it. He has been supporting DeSantis since the first millisecond he announced. This endorsement is a last grasp of a campaign that is on its final breath. You know, it looks like this is about to be the end of the DeSantis era, or whatever you want to call it, because it ain't looking too good. And Rod the Homelander, yeah, perfect time to mention this. That's the wrong one, that's a Christie one. Yeah, so it's perfect time to mention the Homelander still exists. Ben Cynics for 2. Did you see what Ron DeSantis said regarding to the Bahamas? What did he say now? I'm kind of afraid to look it up. Ron DeSantis Bahamas. What did DeSantis say? Rob the Homelander. Yeah. Also, we got, this is still one of my favorite images right here. Look at this. It's the Chris Christie one. Everybody knows it by now, so. DeSanctimonious might really go off the cliff into Trump derangement syndrome after he loses, or maybe he tries to redeem himself like Cruz or Rubio. Knowing how delusional he's gotten and his people have, I wouldn't be surprised if he turns into, like, John Kasich too. I don't like to talk like that, but the DeSantis people, they're not even idiots at this point. They're just all flat out delusional or paid off. Like, in this case, Bob Vander Plaats. I mean, this is sad. I mean, this campaign is the most pathetic thing I have ever seen. How's it going, wrap up? Pretty good. Forgot to mention I had a great Thanksgiving. I also hope everybody else did. But yeah, I had a good Thanksgiving, spent time with the family. Just nice to have a day off from daily content by technically uploaded videos, but you get the point. Let's see, Bahamas with the 51st state. So, yeah, apparently he wants to go, like, bomb the Bahamas. He compared the situation with Israel and Palestine and the Bahamas firing missiles at Florida and threatening to flatten them. Yeah, it's like, dude, I understand, like, your entire campaign is Florida, but, I mean, I can see where it's coming from, but dude, really? The Bahamas? I don't think they even have a GDP big enough to buy a gun, let alone missiles. So, yeah. Rap, thanks for the daily content. No problem. We uploaded videos yesterday. It was pre-recorded, but we still uploaded. So, we still got that streak going. DeSantis' campaign has been a disaster. Oh, yeah. This campaign is bad. And this is the latest sign of a dead campaign. This influential Iowa evangelical leader endorsement. Let's get into it. Bob Vander Plaats, a quote-unquote influential Iowa evangelical leader, endorsed Ron DeSantis for president Tuesday, boosting the Florida governor as he goes all-in on the leadoff caucus state in an effort to trip up Republican frontrunner Donald Trump. For those that don't know, Bob Vander Plaats is considered the gold standard of Iowa endorsements. I believe his endorsements have won in 2008, 2012, and 2016. Right? I believe that's the case. But guess what? Here's a big fat difference between now and 2008. You didn't have Donald F. and Trump. Same thing in 2012. In 2016, Vander Plaats picked Cruz only won the Iowa caucus because he lied to Ben Carson voters. We know this for a fact. He told Ben Carson voters he was about to drop out and he's going to endorse Ted Cruz. Why do you think Ben Carson hates Cruz and his people? There were enough votes swayed. And again, you can only pull this off in Iowa because it's a caucus. They swayed enough votes over to Ted Cruz to get him a 1% victory or whatever. Trump was going to win the Iowa caucus if it wasn't for that. And guess what? The funniest thing of them all? None of his endorsements have ever won the primary, the entire Republican primary. They've won Iowa, but they crushed in New Hampshire. And this was always the problem with the Iowa or bust campaign. Listen, putting effort into Iowa is fine, all right? That's what every campaign should do. But this Iowa or bust campaign that Ted Cruz ran, that Mike Huckabee kind of ran, that Rick Santorum ran, and the one that DeSantis is running, it has never worked. Yes, people have won the Iowa caucus, did win the general or the primary. That's happened a couple times. But usually, these people that focus everything on Iowa, they may win it, but all the momentum they would have would get wiped off the map in New Hampshire. Because New Hampshire is the polar opposite of Iowa. And that's why I've always liked it. Iowa's the more conservative, evangelical, religious Republican voter. New Hampshire's a bit more moderate. It's closer to the general electorate than Iowa is. Because of the primary, it's in the Northeast, all that stuff. And these Maroons, they do good in Iowa, they get crushed in New Hampshire. Like, by a lot. And New Hampshire's more predictive. When is the last time in the Republican side, because the Democrat side, we're not counting that. When was the last time the Republican who won the New Hampshire primaries lost the nomination? Does anybody know? Red Politics 1776 for 5. Spoiler candidates are ensuring Trump's victory next year. Trump/Carlson 24. I wouldn't go that far yet, but it seems like we are getting quite a bit of progressives running. But, I mean, guys, could somebody look this up? The last Republican to lose New Hampshire in the primary, or won it, that lost the nomination. 1996? So it's been 30 years or so. So you're going to bank on a theory from 30 years ago when completely different electorates? Buchanan won New Hampshire in both 92. I thought he lost it in 1992. Yeah, he did. In 92, he did lose New Hampshire. So, he came close to winning it, but he did lose it. Didn't Bush lose a New Hampshire primary? Nobody came close to. Yeah, Buchanan got 38%, which is pretty good. John McCain, 2000. Yeah, so it's like, it's these rare circumstances where it's like the random choice. Like, yeah, it's happened, but it's been 20 years. And really, 2000, that Bush was going to win that nomination just because of his last name. So, 2024 because Christie will win every state except New Hampshire. That'd be funny if that happened. Like, he somehow won every primary but the state he's focused on. Yeah, Dole lost to Buchanan. Okay, so this happened a couple times. I've said that before, but recent memory, it's... Especially in those years, it wasn't Iowa or a bust, you know? It wasn't. But then it started in 2008 with the Huckabee campaign. It was Iowa or a bust, and New Hampshire saved McCain. If it was for New Hampshire, Huckabee would have won the nomination. Vander Platz, the second major backer DeSantis, has picked up in Iowa this month, joining popular Governor Kim Reynolds. Popular. Despite what the Simps are saying on Twitter, which we now know they effectively control the community notes, Kim Reynolds, based on Morning Consult's polling, is one of the most disapproved governors in the country. I mean, how can people say, oh yeah, this is great news, this is fake news? It's not as bad as the whole, they claimed Reagan did better than Trump in Iowa. Because Reagan like got 32% and Trump got 50 or 51%. I'm not even kidding. Red Eagle had a community note that stated, Red Eagle said, Donald Trump won the state of Iowa by 9 points, which was more than Ronald Reagan did. The community note by DeSimp said, no, Trump did worse in Iowa, despite doing marginally better than President Reagan. He in fact got only 52% of the vote, while Reagan got 53%. You can't make this up! They're comparing vote share to margins now. So it's like, what do you expect? Jacob Red 00 for 5. Imagine if Keith Judd won the 2012 West Virginia primary against Obama. That's not really that impressive. That's just, you know... It's just, West Virginia at that time was realigning towards the GOP. And there were a lot of Democrats that just hated Obama. So, the Simps are more annoying than the liberals. Yeah, at least liberals, you know they're schizo. But the Simps are just, they pretend to know everything like, we represent the voter base. It's like, you guys represent 0.1%. I don't know what to say. Don't know. That's literally comparing apples to oranges. Exactly! But the Simps are saying, oh, well, Reagan got a higher vote share. That's not the same as margin. Because guess what? Nobody ran third party in 88. Or 84, I should say. Let's see. Argentina elected a right-wing president. We know this. Same with the Netherlands. The prime minister has a shot at being that guy from the PVV. So, hopefully it happens, but I still am skeptical because it is Dutch. So, alright, let's get back into this. Evangelicals are a crucial voting bloc in Iowa's Republican caucuses. Vander Platz, president of the Family Leader, has endorsed the eventual winner in every GOP caucus since 2008. It is potentially jeopardizing his streak by picking DeSantis, who trails far behind Trump in polls. His decision will test his sway among Iowa evangelicals, many of whom continue to support Trump. But here's the problem, like this article says, Trump's winning the evangelical vote. This isn't like one of those times where the evangelicals are undecided. They're some of Trump's most loyal voters now. What do you think, these voters are just magically going to flip because Vander Platz said so? He may drop a little bit. If you think a 30-point swing's going to happen because Vander Platz said so, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. You're delusional. I don't know what to say. Europe's beyond saying when it's totally over. I wouldn't say that. The right-wing parties are having, like, their own, like, breakout moments. Happening in Netherlands. We're seeing it in Italy, Poland. We did lose a little bit. Germany looks like they're going to elect a nationalist or more right-wing party. Sweden had a wave. The British, who knows? We got to see what the British. Wilders supports abortion. Yeah, I'm not saying Wilders is perfect, all right? I'm just saying he's far better than what we currently got over there. It's a step in the right direction. So, Trump is the most supported with young voters. Yeah. I really want to see them bank their entire electoral future on 90-year-olds that voted for Reagan. It's like, good luck with that. The West has fallen. I mean, I wouldn't go that far yet, but we're at a point of, we have like 5 years before it's completely unsalvageable. The UK is gaining with actually a right-wing party, but Labour is going to win the next general election. Yeah, they're going to win. But hopefully that forces them to wake up and realize, hey, wait a minute. Being Labour light isn't what people want. They want us to be like something different. If Trump wins Iowa, he's probably gonna be go on to be the nominee. But I don't think America's going to elect him president again. Vanderplatz told Fox News host Brett Baier. Based on what? The mystical polling data that has Trump up by 50 according to your own polling in Iowa? That has him up by 2 nationally? What mystical data do they got that they have that shows Donald Trump's losing next year? Feriad politics for 5. With the court striking down school choice, Wisconsin causing mass exodus of conservatives, making the state bluer, or would the state get redder? I don't see them striking down school choice. In Wisconsin, that thing's like embedded in law. Not even Democrats are dumb enough to go after school choice. So, you never know, but school choice is, look up the history of it. It's a big part of its roots starting in Wisconsin. So, I don't see that changing. It's possible, I guess, but look it up. Wisconsin has a history of school choice. So, I don't think there's going to be a 30-point miss. There's not. The people that think that are just delusional. And they think that DeSantis can win still because Orange Man bad. I think America would be well served to have a choice. And I really believe DeSantis should be that guy, he said. And I think Iowa's tailor-made for him to win this. Here's the problem. It doesn't matter if he wins Iowa or not. If he's losing New Hampshire by 70 or whatever at this point, who freaking cares? People are like, wait a minute. You got crushed in New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina, but you did slightly better in Iowa. No, people are not going to bank on that. They'll be like, screw this. This guy's incompetent. Protestants would be crucified if she struck down school choice. Yeah, Wisconsin usually they don't piss around with that. Even Dems don't. It'd be political suicide for them. Christie would get second place or maybe tie with Haley. Yeah, I think Christie's being second right now, if I had to guess. Haley, I just don't know if that supports that real. He pointed to DeSantis' decisive victory in his 2022 Florida re-election and his success enacting conservative legislation. But guess what? I'll give DeSantis that. All right, he did good with his re-election. He has been a good governor. Nobody's denying this, except certain people that are hardcore Trump people, which I disagree with, that he's done some good stuff. But here's the problem. DeSantis never had to go through Congress. He had the Florida legislature, which was like supermajority Republican, both chambers, a 9-0 Supreme Court in this state. It's like, well, of course you get stuff done. You have supermajorities everywhere. And Florida was shifting Republican because of Trump. Let's see here. DeSantis on Twitter Spaces were complaining Thanksgiving Day yesterday. Unbelievable. I saw that. You know, these people don't have lives. They say, oh, you know, you Trump cultists or whatever. It's like, dude, you're complaining on Thanksgiving about Donald Trump. And doing Twitter Spaces. It's not like, you know, you tweeted something. That's one thing. But some of these people, it was nonstop stuff about Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. That's all you saw in some of these timelines yesterday. And then you had the Biden people talk about how to talk to MAGA people on Thanksgiving. It's like, these people don't live in reality. Let's see here. What's going on with Dominator? I don't know. Not going to get into it. No, I'm by myself today. Today I'm just doing a stream by myself. Nobody else is on, so. Rap, if I would go to Turtle today, how much would Reynolds win or lose by? She would still win, but not by as much. The whole DeSantis campaign is one giant cope, in hopes that they could be a version of Trump without the baggage and personality flaws. Well, the problem is with Trump, and I've always agreed that there's some parts of Trump that I don't like. I think there's some times where I love Trump making fun of people, that not denying that. I'm just saying that sometimes I even admit that maybe it's pushing a bit too far for my liking, but it's still hilarious. But the problem with DeSantis is he has negative charisma. And his policy positions that Bob Vander-Plaats talks about here, I don't know. His policy positions are good, but he's so inconsistent on some stuff, and really it's killing him next year. If he's someone with a nominee, his position on abortion is going to kill him. I support a heartbeat ban, but even I know I know it's political suicide right now to sign an abortion ban right before you run and expect the Biden administration not say a word. Vander-Plaats, who is prominent in the anti-abortion movement. That should tell you everything, by the way. The anti-abortion movement in this country are ran by morons like Vander-Plaats. Why do you think there hasn't been a single abortion victory on any ballot since abortion got overturned, or Roe versus Wade did? Why? Morons like Vander-Plaats, they decided, all right, we have two possible messages for people. One, we're not going to say a damn word about abortion, which gives Democrats free real estate. And number two, and this is a big one, they focus on some of the most stupid, absolutely moronic statements on abortion you could ever make. I mean, what are these people thinking? Saying, oh, we should have no exemptions. I'm not a big fan of exemptions, but even I admit that there needs to be some kind of exemptions for somebody that's, a child or something. And they got raped, and they have serious health concerns because they're pregnant when they shouldn't be. Yeah, that's an exemption. But these morons are focusing on no abortion no matter what. What do you think's gonna happen? Voters are gonna be like, I may disagree with abortion to a lesser extent, but this is insane for me. I'm not gonna support this. Well, Democrats, they're making it sound like that abortion's outlawed in every state. Republicans, they're just letting it happen. They're not attacking Dems for supporting third trimester abortions, for supporting up to the 40th week. Has questioned the former president's commitment to an abortion ban. You frickin' maroon. Unbelievable. While Trump's 3 Supreme Court appointments enabled the High Court to overturn their constitutional right to an abortion last year, Trump has faced blowback from anti-abortion right activists for refusing to commit to a national abortion restrictions and for calling Florida's signing of a 6-week ban on the procedure a terrible mistake. Listen, I support bans on abortion, but Trump is right. A national ban is stupid. Focus on the third trimester. That's all you have to frickin' do. Focus on how Democrats in Virginia, for example. Remember, despite it being a bad year for Republicans, they tried to do a message around 15 weeks. It seemed like it helped a little bit, but it's still focus on late-term abortion. Trump's focusing on it. He's talking about how the former governor of Virginia said, we need to keep the babies comfortable while we prepare to decide whether to kill them after birth. That's what they said. Trump is genius for focusing on that. Don't talk about we need to ban abortion after a week. That is political suicide. I'm not sacrificing morality for electoral politics. I'm just saying I would much rather have late-term abortion banned in all the blue states with heartbeat bans in the red states than, have a heartbeat ban in 2 states, but Democrats have no restrictions in any other state. That's what I'm saying. Priscilla for 5. DeSantis already saying even if Trump gets 50% in Iowa, it still means half the party doesn't want me the nominee. Thoughts? That's baloney. Remember, Trump only got 25% in 2016 in Iowa. He still won the nomination handedly, and he won the presidency. Just because it's not his first choice for a voter doesn't mean that voters are not going to vote for him. It's proven based on the head-to-head matchup with Trump or Biden. Trump is leading Biden right now in the popular vote, despite having a primary. What does that tell you? And you look at the crosstabs, it's like 80% Republicans saying they're backing Trump with like 15% undecided. Focus on baby bonuses. Yeah. Focus on popular positions and slowly but surely move the envelope like Dems did with gay marriage. Like for abortion, for example, we need to ban post-birth abortion nationally. It should not happen even in blue states, red states, whatever. Post-birth abortion ban. And I believe they already have that. Then, let's move it to say no. Restricted abortion in the 3rd trimester in every state. But states can restrict even further. But keep going slowly. And then eventually push for a 15-week ban nationally. I'll take that. But slowly but surely add more. Don't go right for a 6-week ban everywhere. That's stupid. A majority of U.S. adults want abortion to be legal, at least through the early stages of pregnancy, according to a July poll from the AP New York Center for Public Affairs Research. And when they say early stages, they mean first trimester. They mean first 3 months, and that's it. After that, it's like 55% are opposed in second trimester. It's like 80% the third. I did multiple streams on this already. Kari Lake has the perfect message on abortion. I did see that. That was excellent by Lake. Kari Lake has the best message on abortion so far. Yeah. I mean, I was skeptical of Lake early on, but she has been a lot better this time around. She is focusing on perfect messaging. Instead of trying to start some culture war BS and try to fight off the McCain people, which McCain people kind of stink, but you need their vote, sadly. She is proposing unique policy, stuff related to education, baby bonuses. Focus on popular positions related to abortion, not say nothing about it. Is it likely Shahi wins a nomination in Montana against Tester? When it comes to Montana, I'm surprised Rosendale hasn't announced yet, but I'm starting to become less and less hopeful that Rosendale's going to run. I'm starting to think that he got scared off. Lake for Senate. I agree. I do support Lake for Senate. She's our best choice. DeSantis has infused his campaign with religious rhetoric and persistent outreach to white evangelicals, but has said little about how he practices his own Catholic faith. He met with Vander Plaats earlier this year in Tallahassee, and this is a big thing. He talks about, we need to bring God to this country and stuff. It's like, that's cool and all, but your position's like, we need to ban gay marriage again. We need to attack Trump for supporting it. Do you think that's going to win voters over? Do you think that's going to help you in the general? That's going to kill you. Have you seen the Axios article on the push for a Romney Mansion ticket? I did see that. We'll pull up in a little bit. In response to the Vanderplat endorsement, Trump's campaign said the former president is backed by more than 150 faith leaders in Iowa and implied that DeSantis paid for the endorsement, which he did. We know for a fact Vanderplat got 6 figures from DeSantis right before the endorsement. Just a pure coincidence. Once Rosendale announces he's going to consolidate most of the base around him, I just don't see him running. He would have announced already, I think. If Roe v. Wade never passed back in 1973, how would things be like? We'd be a far better situation as a culture. And I know there's some feds out there that say, oh, but my demographics. I don't give a rat's ass who's getting aborted. It is a stain on this country that we allowed it for as long as we did. And guess what? If abortion never became that, what Roe versus Wade did, our culture would be far better than it is now. We have a culture of abortions, freaking child pornography being like a big thing now, or not child pornography, drag queens reading to freaking kindergartners and stuff. It's like, it's unbelievable. But it's like now they're pushing, I'm kidding about this stuff, but it's like now they're pushing for pornography in schools. That's what I meant earlier. Just, it's unbelievable what this culture has turned into. And a lot of it could be stemmed from Roe versus Wade, excuse me. Roe versus Wade, excuse me. Did you hear a Nevada judge rule that abortion isn't protected under the state constitution? Did hear that. Can we get another candidate in Nevada Senate? I really don't want to get stuck with Brown. I don't know. Amnesty, acid, and abortion. Yep. That's our country in a nutshell right now. Kids being taught about pornography when they're in freaking kindergarten. It's unbelievable. And you think I'm joking. Most people aren't, but 5 years ago, this was insane to even consider. Now it's happening. It is happening across the country. Even in red states. We've taken God out of society, and along with that, his protection. Yeah, that's a big thing. And I'll give DeSantis credit for this. One of his best things, in my opinion, that he did, that not enough people talk about, is the fact that he's allowing prayer in schools again. Not just, oh, you could pray anytime you want. It's like, you must give students like a minute before each day where they can pray if they want to. That's a big thing. And I think it should be allowed every state. You should get 1 minute before the school day starts to pray whatever. You don't have to participate, but just say you can pray for a minute. It's a small thing, but small things turn our culture into shit. So it's stuff like that where I do think we should have a push for more religion and God in schools again. That doesn't mean I'm forcing people to be Christian. It never was like that. Rap, can we, as the Republicans, win on the issue of abortion? Hammer late-term abortions on Dems and get baby bonuses, paid parental leave up to 6 months, $1,000 a month for having a baby, within reason, etc. Yeah, absolutely. Printer writer for 5. Just got here, but new Bears poll showed Trump at 52, DeSantis at 16, and Haley falling to 12% in Iowa. Yeah, the Iowa or bust campaign. I'm having a hard time speaking today. I don't know what it is. But the Iowa or bust campaign is a joke. I mean, it was never a good strategy, and it's clearly backfiring. Rob, can we we read that. Bring back God and other religion no matter what. Well, again, I would much rather, I don't care your faith in schools, I personally don't. But it's like, this idea where you're allowed to show kids pornography, but you can't show them the Bible in schools? What? That's insane. In my opinion, There should be a requirement to read some religious scripture. I'm not saying you have to read every page of the Bible. But I do think if you're requiring half of this other crap, just say, there's parts of the Bible, some scripture, that they should have to read. Well, what's wrong with that? What? If you're allowing pornography in schools, I don't want to hear anything. Any thoughts on the Netherlands going to hard swing of populism, even though it's more leftism populism? It's a good development. The entire West is starting to see that, it seems like. Dems of the party of child mutilation, releasing violent criminals from jail, and mass immigration. Yeah. That's them in a nutshell. And the GOP continues to focus on God knows what. The DeSantis campaign stinks. It sucks. It's just bad. They'll say it's Christian nationalism, yet Judaism and Islam also stem from the same God as Christianity. Well, remember, I guarantee you, they want to complain about Islam being taught in schools. Just an example, or Judaism, whatever. But the second Christianity is mentioned, it's against the law. It's church and state and crap like that. It's like, whatever. Bibles were banned or removed from our public schools because of Supreme Court decisions. I know. And it was bad. The decisions sucked. Those decisions were made by the same people that allowed Roe versus Wade. That really started a lot of the problems in this country. Is it a coincidence? The second you take God out of schools, suddenly everything goes to shit. Man for 2. Describe a Fetterman, Mastriano, Biden, McCormick voter. I'm going to say a voter from Mastriano's district. Do you think John Curtis will run for Utah Senate? It seems like he will. Let's see here. Atheism should not be allowed in schools. The First Amendment doesn't apply to it because it's not a religion, so we can crush it. I agree with that. Because this entire atheism stuff in schools, it's like, if you're allowed to teach that, when, let's face it, it's not a religion, so let's just ban it. What are you going to do about it? Oh, it's protecting the First Amendment. Based on what? It's not a religion. Unless you want to admit it secretly is a religion to be anti-God or something. Does no one remember that the first Bible in the U.S. after independence was issued by Congress for every school? Oh, don't talk to people about that. They'll just say, oh, that's different. Random thought, but I will say, I think Republicans will do better at least in the Senate and governor's race in 2026 midterms if Trump is president than if Biden's president. I don't know about that. When is the Pro-Life Inc. video coming out? And also, did you see that Students for Life Turkey post? There is a pro-life video coming soon. I'm getting sick of some of these people. They get mad at me for saying, I would much rather have abortion ban in the late term, nationally, than I would have us get a couple more states with abortion bans at a heartbeat. I don't get what's controversial to say about that. Listen, of course I want heartbeat bans, but right now, our focus should be focus on late term. Focus on all of that. The only thing that crushes the atheism argument is that even atheist scholars have come out and said Jesus was a real person, yeah. But they say, oh, that's just a fake person who doesn't know anything. Sam Matz for 5. The rumor is that John Curtis is secretly pro-choice. We need to avoid him at all cost. Yeah, he probably is, based on his record. Atheism is a religion, on a very loose definition of religion, especially the way it preaches itself. Yeah, it is. I mean, atheism is totally not a religion, but it acts like one, so... Edwards would probably be worse than Romney. Oh, easy. She's just a full-blown Democrat. Let's see. Yeah, so I just don't know. We definitely need God in schools again, in my opinion. Again, I'm not saying that everybody has to adhere to it, that everybody has to, pray or something. I'm just saying that you should be allowed to read the Bible in school. There should be optional classes for Bible study or something. If they want to do it, go ahead. What's the big deal? How is that racism and Christian nationalism? It's like, it isn't. It's what a lot of other countries do. It's not insane. Technically, isn't atheism the belief in a higher power but not God? And agnostic is the belief in nothing. Well, who frickin' knows? Man Milk for 2. The cult of woke is a secular religion. It must end. Yeah. And you can ban it because it's not a religion. But suddenly they're going to use it's actually a secret religion, but it's a real religion argument or something. Or we should probably get rid of public schools. I wouldn't go that far. We need reforms in it, but public schools are a good thing. And the whole point of them, really, it was to make sure everybody had an opportunity at school. Get a decent education and whatnot. But now they're just a crapshoot. They suck. Their kids are not learning anything. Test scores are proving homeschooling is the best way forward. It's like, definitely needs reforms. Agnostic is the idea that there might be a God. Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying that you can make an argument that these anti-religion groups, not necessarily agnostic, but like atheists or whatever, the way some of them act, you would think it is a full-blown religion. No agnostic is a belief in a higher power. Atheism, no God. No, I'm just saying that some of these groups act like their own religion. I'm not saying that they don't believe in God. Printed writer for 5. Promote having Bible study, Quran study, Tanakh study, just a study of every religion school. Dare them to come out against it. Yeah. And I disagree with some of those other religions, but just say, okay, you can have a religious class. Talk about religion and do it fairly. Not just, Christianity bad or something. First is taking God out of schools, then forcefully making them multicultural, integrating suburban schools with violent well, I wouldn't go that far. The problem is with current schooling, because we really didn't have problems from the 60s to the early 2000s in our schools. There really wasn't, It really started when they started to push this ideology in the schools that white man bad, white man bad, white man bad. Atheism is definitely religion, yeah. Again, I'm not saying that, you can't be agnostic. I'm just saying that some of these people act like its own religion. So. I wish we'd deport woke people. I mean, we could. Just say they're anti-American. Deport them. Get rid of the Department of Education. It allows the federal government to do this shit. I would say keep it, but it should not be... It should be, ran by the states or something. It should be, a separate department where it's, each state gets, one representative or whatever to help create guidelines. Because that would be far better than what we currently got. We can at least teach the Old Testament schools. Yeah, at least that. I just never understood. Why can't we learn about religion in schools? If it's an optional class, why are you against it? You're allowing these people to take useless art degrees, art classes, as a requirement and other crap like that. But, wait a minute. You won't allow a religious class? Thoughts on riots in Ireland over Algerian immigrants stabbing kids. So this is something that, again, I do not condone violence. I hate people rioting. But, I know there's always a but. If there was a legitimate time to riot, it would be a circumstance like this. Where multiple children get stabbed by a violent loser. Best way I can put it. who was immigrated from Algeria, I believe it was, because of the mass immigration policy. And the leaders don't give a rat's ass. If there was a time to riot, which again, I'm against all riots, that'd be the time to do it. Listen, I'm against the riots, by the way. I'm just saying that why is the government suddenly saying it's far right? It's like, no. People are just sick and tired of this crap happening to people. I mean, for crying out loud, children just got stabbed and killed. And you're more worried about, yes, the white supremacists in a country that's 80% Irish now, down from 95% or whatever. That's the problem in this country. What? The biggest scam in American history is the invention of major art class in college, especially since so many artists I've worked with are self-taught. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying there shouldn't be art school. I'm just saying that they make a requirement and like the ideology in some of these places. It's like, why? Ireland's population grew by 4% due to immigration last year. That's a problem. Immigration causing the population growth like that, that's not sustainable. The Irish Prime Minister hates white people. Yeah. Well, it's like, why do you think people are mad? It's not like, when a violent loser gets killed by an officer, these people riot because he's black. People are rioting because these are freaking children. They're getting killed by bad policy. That's what's happening here. Why is this how is this racist? And people are going to say that's racism. How? If this happened can you imagine this happened in freaking like Saudi Arabia or something? Holy crap. Or just let's say one of those, a Middle Eastern country or something. Let's just say it was a white dude instead. That European would have been executed on the spot. And that nobody's going to say a word about that. But people being fed up in the West over what's happening, that's the final straw. It's like European leaders see what happened to Italy last year and now the Netherlands, and they put their fingers in their ears and go, nah. Yeah. These leaders are so incompetent. I mean, what do you think there's a populist revolt happening in the West? Because guess what? People have had enough of, hey, there's millions of people immigrating from cultures that hate us. Not just, they're different cultures. That's not the problem. The fact that they openly despise Western religion, Western culture. And a lot of them, they're not assimilating. So it's like, people are like, what's the point? Hear me out first. Removing God and forced multiculturalism in schools led to a spike in bullying and mental health issues. Come the 70s, 80s, 90s, start seeing school. Well, that's not necessarily true. Not true. The protesters that got arrested in Ireland are supposedly getting 12 years in jail and 10 years at most for the attack. Are you freaking kidding me? 10 years for somebody that stabbed multiple children. But people that rioted over that, they get longer time in jail. Unfreaking believable. Is that real? I would not be shocked if it is. Let's see here. I'm going to look up the protesters, how long they're getting jail time for. Yep. 12 years. Let's see. Oh my freaking God. Yeah, it's real. Yep, the people that rioted, they're going to face longer time in jail than the guy that killed children. This is why people have had enough with these politicians. They don't give a rat's ass about you. This is unfreaking believable. 12 years? opinions on universal healthcare. I think everyone should have healthcare, but there should not be some kind of like single payer system. I would say make Medicaid more of a public option, not fully. Like, let each state have their own plan. Ireland needs to be liberated by, well, yeah. I mean, media's turned on the Spanish network Univision just because they had an interview with Trump. Yeah, well, they're realizing that their grasp on the Spanish-speaking world's falling apart. Or at least in America. But I just cannot believe a guy killed. It doesn't matter what his race was. It doesn't matter his religion. It doesn't matter. A guy stabbed. And how many people did he... Hold on. Ireland stabbing incident. How many people got stabbed? Yeah, so there was a 5-year-old currently in very serious condition. Man Milk for 2. The cult of woke is a secular religion and must end. Absolutely. There's no reason for this. Hold on. Yeah, I read that. Well, did I read that right? Hold on. Did I miss something? What? Okay, yeah, I already read that. I'm sorry. Just came up now. Hopefully the National Party can get this to get into Parliament in Ireland. This is absolutely absurd what is happening. Yeah. I mean, think of this asshole chief that doesn't look like he did anything in his life. He's saying, oh, the far-right ideology. No, it isn't. It's called people don't like when children are getting stabbed and essentially caused by your own policy. Leaders are not held accountable anymore. And this is why people hate it. Nobody's going to be held accountable by this. They're just going to blame the far right for it. Why has the Anglosphere largely avoided the popular revolt that is happening in the rest of Europe? Well, we're kind of seeing it. Canada's kind of seeing it. New Zealand saw it. The British might see it. For why it's that case, I don't really know. You're far right if you don't like children getting stabbed. We're at that point. I just can't go with the fact. The guys go to prison for a shorter time than people protesting. Again, I'm not for rioting. That's awful. You shouldn't riot. But the guy's going to get off scot-free, essentially. He should be deported to wherever he came from and let them deal with it. Say, here you go. Hey, Rap, why are evil people controlling our country? Well, because they were smart. A lot of these people, a lot of them had parents, grandparents, whatever. They were influential people. And they grifted off their last name and got into power because of it. Because their parents knew somebody, their grandparents, whatever. But they're so incompetent. They don't even try to help the peasants of the world. They don't. They don't care. Because they never had to work for it. They got in pretty easily. Because they knew somebody, they were in a position of power beforehand, whatever. Hey, Rap, we need to do what happened to the Dutch Prime Minister in the 1600s. No, that's too far. Hey, Rap, just saw Napoleon. It was pretty good in my opinion. I'm not going to watch it. After hearing what they did to Napoleon, I'm not falling for it. Because of big globalist money in New York more effectively manipulating the media and the Anglosphere. Yeah. But I'm sorry for raising my voice or something. It's so frustrating. You see children get in the middle of this crap and nobody gives a rat's ass about it. And so you get called racist for calling it out. That's why people are just done. They're just out. They're tapped out on it. Anyways, folks, if you got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now. Because I think I'm going to end the stream here. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's definitely one of those things where Ireland is. I'm hoping that they elect people with 5 brain cells because the response by the prime minister and that chief of police. Oh boy, that's. You talk about incompetence. Yeesh. The great parents gave us their bad children's leaders. Look at Bob Casey Jr., Andy Bashir. Yeah. Their parents were great people. They were great leaders at a better time. But their children, relatives, whatever. They only got into power not because they were good, but because of their last name. They got it because they knew somebody. You never talk about the Senate. Well, there's not really much to talk about. Prince Rider for 5. I know everyone likes Reagan, but he's the reason so many are in power, because they used him and took over the GOP and has been riding his coattails since. Yeah. Where do you think the Bush wing came from? Came from frickin' Reagan. They co-opted his entire movement, which should have been a permanent majority, but they blew it. When is the next Ireland election? I don't know. Let's see. No later than March 2025. Hopefully, they get somebody with 5 brain cells in charge. But probably not going to happen. That was how Kathleen Kennedy got into president of Lucasfilm, yeah. Well, to be fair, she did work on Indiana Jones, so. But yeah, she knew some people. The problem with the European immigration system is that Europe is trying to be like the United States on immigration without having the American ability to assimilate, causing major unrest. Well, America's starting to not assimilate at all, but it's still there. We need to do a lot better on it. Whoever in the Tea Party, in your opinion, all the grifters that were part of it, ones that only cared about deficits. They only cared about stopping spending, nothing else. Hey, Rap, what's your opinion on Northern Ireland rejoining Ireland? Not gonna happen. What ruined the Tea Party? Again, grifters. It's like the MAGA Inc. people. The people on Twitter that, I am MAGA, but I support amnesty. I support free trade, but I'm MAGA because I can use the term MAGA. And I support Trump or something. Conor McGregor needs to run for president. Well, hold on. I did hear that Conor McGregor might be involved in politics in Ireland again, or now. Because that was pretty based what he said about it. Like, this is what you voted for. This is your freaking fault for being incompetent. Here, episode Mario Old School Blue Dog now became a Republican. I don't know. No, Tyrone is not here. But we're probably going to end the stream anyways. We got over everything I kind of wanted to talk about, but it just sickened me what's happening. And nobody cares. That's the thing that gets people, including myself. If there was some accountability, people wouldn't be so mad. But the fact that instead of taking accountability, because like every leader beforehand in human history, they just blame it on racism or something. Blame it on communism or whatever. Let's see. Thoughts on Brett Cooper? Neutral. Don't know enough about him. I'll double check. Or her, no, him, it. No. I don't know enough about Brett Cooper. I just really don't. Isn't she gonna star in Snow White? Or whatever? There's rumor about Andrew Cuomo running. I saw that, but who knows? Rhonda Homelander drawing complete. I saw that. Guys, go follow Rust Belt Elections on Twitter. Or who is it? Red Ohio? Yeah, who is it on Twitter? He made the Homelander. Really good drawing. Yeah. Red Ohio Elections. Go follow him on Twitter. And go follow Rust Belt Elections. The Homelander. Pretty good. Brett is a woman. Excuse me, I had a mistake. Don't worry, I had a brain fart about Brett Cooper. Forgot. I had a brain fart. Perhaps should the US build the P-1000 Rattle? I don't know. Notice how Kamala Harris used a stove for Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was a gas stove. It's like, I wouldn't make that big of a deal about it, but you want to ban gas stoves everywhere, but you're using one. But anyways, folks, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy the stream, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, it was a fun stream. We went over some of the stuff, but just stay safe out there. I don't condone violence. Don't riot. That's not necessary, but I can see at least where people are coming from, just being fed up. I wouldn't go that far, but anyways, hope everyone has a phenomenal weekend. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, whatever you celebrate. Thank you so much.